Ladies and boys, children and ladies and boys, children of all ages, and the little alien dude in the corner over there that he thinks no one sees. Hi. To another episode of The Call of the Gods, White Wolf's Scion. Those of you that are not familiar with this series, do feel free to go back and take a look at episode 1 of the series in this same playlist. Actually, you probably should go back and watch this from the beginning. It's the canon has got kind of convoluted at this point. In short, what we're doing here, ladies and gentlemen, is these players that you see on the video bar here beside of me are all playing the children of various gods of Greek, Voodoo, Japanese, and Egyptian legend. They are working to solve a number of different problems that their divine parents have asked them to do. But before we get into this evening's action, I'd like to take a moment to thank a very special sponsor of sorts that has been taking care of us for a little while now. Blue Ox Games over in Greenville, North Carolina, are the preferred gaming store of both myself and of Joseph Braxton, the gentleman here playing Mr. Hajime. Blue Ox Games bringing you the best in Warhammer 40k, Magic the Gathering, and games such as this. Find them on the web at www.blueoxgames.com. And I personally want to make a personal shout out to CenturyLink for having your internet be so damn shitty. And we will move right along. Guys, if you could give us a brief introduction of who you are and the character you are playing this evening, starting from the players I'm sure are not appearing in the same way that they do on my screen. But if we could start from my screen left is Walter, and whoever would like to pick it up after Walter, we'll just keep round robin.
All right, can do. My name is Walter Stigall. I co-run another series with Will on here that's Tar Heel by Dark. And I play Captain George Jameson of the United States Marine, and he's the son of Ogun.
Hi, I'm Guthrie Prentice, and before I describe my character, I'd like to plug a couple of things. First is my second channel, Overlapping Magisteria, which is where I'm rebooting most of my videos and stuff to more highbrow and academic entertainment. The second thing I'd also like to plug is my math tutoring service. If any of you are taking summer school classes or college-level math courses and you're having difficulty, please contact me at guthrie.prentice33@gmail.com, and I'll do my best to help you. I can handle anything up to the second-year university level, including statistics. I am playing Jake Ahmet, JD. He is a lawyer, as well as a forensic investigator for the FBI and various other things, and the son of Horus.
Well, I'm John Hosmer, just your typical frustrated, somewhat Irish writer with a few issues. Usually very well kept to myself. I handle a few other things, mostly just trying to focus on recovery and being a decent human being at this particular moment. I'm playing the somewhat frustrated airborne ranger, son of Thor, Edric Thorson, the somewhat insane berserker of the group.
And I am Mishi. Well, we'll go with Mallow. I'm Mishi Mallow, and I am playing Rosalind, the effortlessly sexy daughter of Freya, who apparently very much confused her cousin last episode. I'm kind of more the healer who will kick your ass if you get injured by being a dumb fuck. And that's about all I need to say about that.
Oh joy! Yay! I'm the last one. Braxton. Really don't have a good way to describe me other than that token guy who you will probably see somewhere that you may recognize from whatever. Other than that, I play Nakata Hajima, the somewhat grumpy and cynical child of Izanami. And everyone else here has a really good plan. We're going to go and survive. I'm the one sitting here like, yeah, okay, we are all going to die. Dead men be we. To end any other, morale boosting efforts I can to the team.
Token wet blanket, I have to say.
Morale boosting, you say? All right.
Hey,
Well,
the fact that we acknowledge we are dead helps make things a lot easier.
I am planning to die today.
My morale is boosted just by trying to prove you wrong.
Yeah, stubborn.
I like it.
all right. So
My job is done.
when we last left our heroes, they had touched down and began making preparations for a mission, if you will, over in Cairo, Egypt. The current situation being that they're pretty sure that a good portion of what's causing their major problems may be able to be solved here. Mr. Ahmet himself being a member of the Egyptian pantheon, even he passed out from the excessive amount of heat that the warband was experiencing. We pick up the episode today as the sun has rose about 2.5 hours earlier, as the party has awoken, all in various states of consciousness.
Jake finally comes to after the day or what have you of being completely out of it due to the heat stroke, and finally goes, I always knew that homecoming would be a problem, but I didn't expect it to happen like this.
Basically.
You hear a knock on your door, and if you choose to open it, you find Rosalind standing there.
Jake opens the door.
I left my cat with you last night. She refused to leave the cool tile of your bathroom floor. Would you mind letting me know if she's still breathing in there?
Good question. Jake stumbles into the bathroom, a little weary from the whole ordeal, and checks a pulse. And I'm going to run intelligence medicine to double check.
You don't really have to do that. You just have to poke her.
Okay, poke the cat.
And Will, does the cat still move?
The cat's fine, but she just kind of kind of pulls at him as he pushes at her. She kind of gets in that I don't want to get up kind of agreement and feeling this morning.
Adelise, food. I'm guessing that perks her up.
Somewhat.
shake a jar of kitty treats.
Yeah, that perks her up more than anything else so far has.
Yeah.
Coming from outside the building.
Yeah, depending upon how loud the drills are at this point, you're going to have a very disgruntled giant on your hands in just about a minute.
If you're awake, you could just barely hear it.
Okay.
But you could hear it through the walls.
Okay. So basically, what the scene kind of shifts to is just this very massive arm just kind of reaching and banging at an alarm plug as it buzzes well past the original overstated alarm. It's probably somewhere around, 8, 9. Well, he was planning to get up at 6:30. That never happens. So he basically slams on the alarm that seems to be anything like the, post counter upper thing, and then slams the thing against the wall. God, I freaking hate this hot hellhole. Yeah, just stretching and struggling to get up. Hearing a few creaks and groans, just kind of slinging his guitar over his shoulder, tossing on a Black Sabbath t-shirt, and slipping into his shoes. Alright.
Jake, having recuperated from the heat stroke, has actually had an idea in his delirious sleep about how to solve the flooding of the Nile problem.
Okay, but do you share the fact that you have had an idea? With Rosalind, who is the only one around you at the moment.
Yep. Jake actually says, "Oh, by the way, Roz, I think I've come up with an idea to address the flooding issue."
Oh?
Well, it's only a temporary fix, but I do remember from my education from Horus, the river Erns, which is over in Duat, the Egyptian underworld. I had a thought that maybe if I could find a way to connect it to the Nile, maybe we could use the water from that to supplement the Nile River and cause it to flood temporarily. It would offset things in the underworld by a little bit, but at least it would provide the necessary water.
Not by as much as you would think, as far as upsetting the underworld goes. Once my cousin is done murdering his alarm clock, I hope I'm not going to have to pay for that, we'll have a chat.
Yeah, well, the problem is there's only a couple of ways to get in there, and I'm not sure my usual wormhole sigils will get us down that far.
Probably not, but again, there's a few things that we need to talk to the rest of the group about.
Yeah.
And in very short order after this little bit of conversation, you just hear very loud thunder bangs on the door. And just, who's got breakfast in this joint?
Didn't we all order breakfast the night before?
God, did I sleep through that? And then he just kind of, waits for you to open the freaking door.
Door was never closed, as far as I know.
Alright, so he'll just kind of walk in, looking more than a little bleary-eyed. Okay, alright. So where's everybody doing? Let's see, Jameson's running the recruits or some kind of drill. Lord knows what other kind of madness.
Actually, scratch that. Score!
So, Edric just kind of plops down on the bed. The poor screams, just kind of giving him a little bit more lip than normal. Okay, where to start? Her great. Don't know how many times removed when you're talking about these divinity things. Grandfather gave me a little bit of help with the water issue. We could have a way to supplement the current problem, but it might cause one heck of a storm, monsoon or something. But it would blast whatever's plugging the area up.
Well, at least that's something. Beats me having to go try to get through to my dad and get him to bail us out.
Yeah. Good advice I can give you: don't use waters from rooms full of dead people.
Did somebody say dead people? After this, Nakata comes in. He does not look like he is happy. Wearing his t-shirt and a jacket over it, and has the look of death warmed over. What's this idea involving dead people you keep talking about at this ungodly hour?
Just leans over, looking at the clearly hungover Asian. I think that was the other guy's idea.
Oh, believe me, I'm not hungover. I wish that would be an excuse.
Okay.
Squad! Hold! Not a huge, but a fairly large set of footsteps, all seemingly almost in perfect rhythm. Outside in the hallway. And now it's a little bit closer. Squad, halt!
Roz sticks her head out the door.
You see George in typical Marine uniform with his entire squad of 5, all of course in the same drill uniform, but with a red band on one arm and a white band on the other, on all of them, including him. Actually, no, scratch that. He actually has, in place of the usual top, he's got a red shirt with all of his things on it. All of the patches and the pins and everything attached to that. All right, good work out there, squad. You, and he points at the only female. You're doing good. Keep it up. And he finally looks over. Oh, hey, Roz. Squad fallout. Dismissed.
Hey, you want to come in and join us for talking some shop here? Figuring out
Sure.
what our next steps are going to be?
Yep, all right. He sort of... He'll actually reach up and unbutton the top top button of his shirt just a little bit.
Do you
Unbutton
guys
his
have,
sleeves, roll them up.
do you have to be that loud this early in the morning?
Hi.
Oh, real fast, out of game. Did anybody share a room with Nakata, or did I get one to myself?
Well,
I know
shared
Roz
the
had
room.
a room to herself until her cousin decided to come in and ask for help talking to her great-great-grandpappy.
Yeah, you and Ahmet had a room together.
Okay. I hate to do this. I need him to roll me a perception.
I will as soon as I deal with the cat on me. 1 second.
Understood.
Move. Stay.
Will knows why.
Mhm.
Hold on. Let me find it. What am I
This
rolling?
portion of Tar
Perception
Heel
what?
Perception and awareness.
Okay,
Looking
perception
for
what?
a.
This portion of All the Gods is brought to you by Sigma the Cat.
5 a cat, actually, in this
Sigma
case.
wasn't 5. It was
It
5.
was 5.
Sigma and Phi. Bringing you the best in kitty nonsense.
Since
Hold
inception.
on. Yeah, okay, there we go.
Bringing you the best in kitty nonsense since 2013.
So you said it was an 8? No, I failed.
Okay, good. You didn't notice.
All right.
That's it. There's a reason Nakata's not happy. But no one's noticed it. Okay, good.
Do we all need to roll a perception?
Well, he had first on that one because he shared the room with Nakata.
Okay.
But up to Will, if everyone wants to make a roll.
He's the only one that would have had a reasonable moment to notice it.
Yeah.
Kind of distracted with the giant primordial monster prospect or the global disaster involving river flooding.
That's fair.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, Josh, when you were busy going getting your morning PT workout on that alarm clock, you heard it first, but at this point everyone's beginning to hear it. Outside over what sounds like a loudspeaker, sounds like a Arabic chant, or more like either a Arabic chant that's more like in the Gregorian style is being played over a loudspeaker outside.
Morning prayers.
What is it? I speak Arabic.
It is
Yes.
morning prayers.
I was going to say I can
Okay.
actually. I was actually going to say I can actually recite that word for word if I have to, but probably not.
Yeah, not needed.
Okay. No disrespect, but I think we got business to get to.
Yep.
Where's the mouth of this river at exactly?
And at that point, I'm going to roll. A intelligence academics, I believe is what I'm looking for here. So that's 8 dice. Specialty: subject, authority, mathematics. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oops, 8, not 9. And here we go. And I failed. Not botched. Thank God for that. Should have known that was not going to work. Just as well.
Oh. You're still blurry from the heat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Georgie, you got a map or anything?
He snaps his fingers and somebody with the one of the guys with the label Smith walks up after he's gone into one of the rooms down the hall. He comes back, says, and he's actually got a bag beside him. All right. Actually, I guess for now I'll play him. Unless you want to do it, Will.
Yeah. Well, actually, sir, we've got tactical set up in one of the set up in the next room over. If you guys want to move in there.
All right. So, with that being said, Edric just kind of slump along like a speedy little ox this morning and sit down. Hopefully they got coffee or donuts or something.
Oh yeah,
Give me
they got
about
the
10 minutes. I need to step back to my room.
All right.
And
All
Nikata's
right.
heading back to
Remember, okay, those of you that played in the very first episode, will remember that Captain Jameson's boys had set up one of those mobile command outpost type deals in the first episode. It's the same thing here, but what they have done is they basically moved the two beds in the room. They have basically broke them down and moved them to the side of the room, and around the room they have a number of computers, both of the laptop and desktop sort. There's a projector set up to be used, and yes, there is indeed coffee and donuts on a table, or actually on the TV stand.
All
And you
right.
also see in the middle of the room is what looks like a topographic map of the of not only the area that that the warband is staying in right now, but you see that there is also slide out tables under that table that looks like they have other has room for other maps. Some of which are folded more like a not actually rolled, more folded over, like you would expect a normal map to be folded.
So, gonna take a donut in one hand and a cup of coffee in the other. Sort of finger the map open and get a look at the mouth of the Nile, see where it flows out at.
All right, that particular map also.
Ross grabs
um,
coffee and a donut as well.
All right.
Okay. Which, by the way, the computers are all set up with various areas, various different things on the computer screens. One looks like a weather station has been set up. One looks to be a station for local news media, and a third station is set up, or excuse me, a third station is set up that looks more be of a multi-purpose station. And Captain Jameson, there is a single laptop set up in the corner of the room, and you know this setup well enough to know that that's intended for your personal work.
All right. Yeah. He'll go over and after grabbing coffee and one of the donuts he had made special. This one, if anybody looks at it, you can see that there's dried red pepper scattered over the top of it.
Oh.
Normal glaze, but red pepper all over the top. And he sets them down, munches and sips.
Nikata's a few minutes later than what he originally said, but he is back and he returns from his room feeling a lot better and slightly less grumpy.
Made it.
Jameson looks back. Morning, sunshine. Morning.
Not sunshine, but I'll take, cloudy day.
Given that we're dealing with a dried up river, we might be seeing one of those. Okay. Well, basic information as to the, location of this little outflow.
All right, the river itself, it's no different than what you would actually. You could pull it right up on Google Maps and see it. The river looks like it flows out into the Mediterranean at a point, as well as stopping just inside of Egypt, hitting all the major, Cairo, Karnak,
Okay.
Thebes, all of the known places that you would expect to see.
Well, Edric's no road scholar, but essentially when dealing with the river and dealing with the flow problem with the river, because assuming they haven't had any lack of rain. It's probably some sort of congestion at the outpouring of it. So he's gonna go up there and kind of look in on the area.
By the way, I've been meaning to bring this to Will's attention, but that roll that I just did was a second roll to open a stable wormhole to the mouth of the Nile. I got one success.
You seem something didn't quite go exactly like it was supposed to. You're not quite sure what went wrong, but something didn't quite work right because it seemed like it was attempting to open, but it didn't stay stable long enough for you to make it usable.
Gauntlet
Alright.
game too strong.
That failed though. All right. In all of the map searching and all that, Jameson's looking over that document he got before. Just to finish up, you know, he has been reading it and reading it and reading it between. So he's just got that the information packet open. 12 gates. Set up. Huh. Nile's connected to. Yeah. Oh, I hope we don't have to go there. Oh, that'd be bad.
Translation, please.
Oh, sorry, Sparky. Reading through this document looks like the Nile's connected to the Egyptian underworld.
Oh, great. Things can never be that simple. He looks over at Jake. You're the local. Where are some gateways to the portholes to hell, please?
There's a couple of spots. The problem is that they're all inside the Great. There's three options. One of which is to go in the Great Pyramid. The second one of which is that if we find any air vent that points at the constellation of Orion, we're good. And the third option, I don't think you're going to like.
Okay.
The third option is I mummify every single one of us alive, and we show up in the underworld that way.
Right before Jake
Hell
says
fucking
the
no.
last one, Jameson looks at him with a smirk in his head. I don't like that one either. I'm not keen on seeing Samdi today.
Air vent, constellation of Orion. Okay. Or we could go through the pyramid. I say we just go through the frickin' structure.
Well,
Yeah.
then in that case, and with that, I'm going to roll one more time, and since it wasn't a fail last time, I can at least give it a shot. This is to deliberately enter the air vents inside the Great Pyramid.
Okay.
This is the ones that were specifically pointed at the constellation of Orion inside the Great Pyramid for the pharaohs. Making use of one of these pathways. Fail, but not botch. That's a good thing. So, for some reason, there is
something that's not making sense here.
Because those wormholes
You're
always
you
bounce
know
from the
you're
pyramid.
building. Yeah, and you know that your math is right, but it's like something's blocking it from opening.
I'm going to roll intelligence occult to figure out what that is.
Okay.
Because this is an occult thing anyway. Where's my occult score? There we go. Rolling intelligence occult to see if I can figure out what the fuck is causing the blockage. Fail. The dice just do not like me tonight.
No, not at all.
Yeah, something's blocked. So I was like, sorry guys, we're gonna have to go through the great.
You actually have grabbed a pad of a legal pad and ink pen from one of the desks and started working through your mathematics. And same thing, everything looks to be checking out. It's just, you're not sure why it's not opening.
I'm going to roll an intelligence medicine followed by an intelligence occult because I have a sneaking suspicion as to what's going on.
Okay.
I do have a medicine score in here, I'm pretty sure. Let me double check. Yep, 2 dots in medicine. So that's going to be.
You
6
could
dice.
always have Roz check you over. She's a nurse after all.
That's what I'm intending to do as well. He literally says, "Hey Roz, can you check me over while I'm help me check over here? Will I also check the possible? I'm wondering if my delirium is causing a blockage of some of my capabilities."
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna roll.
You
6
having
dice.
problems vamping, buddy?
To a certain extent, yeah. 10 got neutralized. 10 got neutralized, but 1 success.
Okay.
1 success on the intelligence
With
medicine roll.
At hers.
I have 5 successes on my
Yep.
intelligence medicine.
No, the 8. It was
Fine.
difficulty 8 and higher.
Yeah, difficulty 8 and 8 plus.
So we dropped the 2 7s. It's 3, not 5.
Still good. Still very
So,
good.
it's two, so Roz got 1 out of that.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay,
2 successes total.
I would have got 2 successes then with the
Oh,
with the
sorry, I didn't see
difficulty
that
8.
other 9.
All right. And also, ladies and players and viewers, looks like Mr. Hijama is going to have to step away to take care of some personal issues. But it's good for you to stop by, man. If you're able, jump back in if you're able.
I was actually gonna make a quick roll for this right fast. For what was it, a cult?
Yeah, intelligence occult.
Yeah. All right, give me a second. I'm gonna give a quick roll. Maybe Nakata's got some parting advice.
That same thing. You're looking for 8s or better.
2 successes.
Okay. He is fine. Jake looks to be medically okay, but as far as what's going on with why he's having trouble with the portal, Egypt is known to be a heavily magically induced country, and there's a possibility that what he might be experiencing is an overload of sorts of that magic.
I'm gonna. Do you tell
Jameson.
this to Jake?
Oh.
Sorry, you were saying Walt Jameson.
Jameson reaches in his pockets, one in each hand, or one hand in each pocket, and goes to the doorway, throws, and this will be important for Will, throws Kalfu on the opposite side, and throws Legba on the near side.
Okay.
And just sits down, crosses his legs and sits down. And just closes
Within
his
moments. Yep, within moments. I'm not going to have you roll for it. Within moments, you begin to hear. You're pretty sure you're hearing it in your head. You begin to hear the sounds of what sounds like a party going on.
Okay. All right. Like, oi! He tries to visualize the party or wherever he might be in relation to that area.
All right. What you were able to visualize is essentially what looks to be something akin to a not really a lake house, more like a pier extended out over water with a baked house of sorts attached to it. but the entirety of the bait house is extended out rather than just the pier. Under that structure, you see there's a variety of small vessels that are tied to moorings that are attached.
All right. He, since he's projecting himself there, he'll brush himself off, straighten up. At this point, he's actually wearing red and white robes, with a belt with a Ogun symbol on the buckle, and he'll walk up to the bait house.
Okay. Same thing. The whole place is like you can hear. It's clear by this point. It's a thumping Zydeco beat coming out of the pores, pouring out of the pores of this place.
All right. He'll walk up, and if the door's not locked, which I'm assuming it's not, he'll just kind of open the door and peek his head in and look around.
It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a party going on. Whole spread of food laid out. Drinks of both the alcoholic and otherwise kind.
Oh baby. He's actually looking for one person in particular. He's actually looking for Daddy when he walks in. He'll actually, pass through the crowd. If people turn to notice him, he'll shake hands, whatever. And
yeah,
look for somebody who might know his Papa. Yeah, all right. Oi, Papa! He'll like
on.
dance. He'll dance to the music as he comes up. Hey, Dad.
Oh, come on there. Have a seat. Get a drink. Have a seat.
Yeah, thank you, Daddy. He'll sit down, look around his family, like nod at family, just like, hey, so yeah.
Although you see, there's one
Wonder if you had any
really
advice.
odd guy. There's that really odd guy in the corner there, kind of hamming it up with a number of the ladies. That really odd guy looks like he's dressed in one of those Halloween skeletal outfits.
He quickly looks away from him, trying not to catch his eye. It's like, great. Invited the whole family, did you, Daddy?
Yeah, I had to do what I had to do. But yeah, what you need, man?
We're trying to wonder if you had any advice.
Okay. What you need? What you got?
Niles not flooding. And that's bad.
Yeah, we were hearing about that. Yeah, we were hearing about that. One of their people, some car guy, Osiris or somebody by that name, had mentioned something to us about that.
Oh yeah, Osiris. Yeah, I got you. Runs the place, I guess. Wait. Runs the opposite end of it. He tell you anything on?
He did say something to the effect of it was flooding where he was at. I mean, it was flooding more than it was supposed to be flooding.
Yeah, they're connected. That's not good. Did he know what was keeping it from pouring back out? Anything at all?
He doesn't say. If he know, he didn't tell her.
Alright. Alright. Fortunately, I wish I could stay and say hi to the family, but I gotta get back. The other family's waiting for me. So yeah.
Oh, by
Actually,
the way, how that
can I
team of
take
y'all doing?
can I take a?
Not the other ones.
They're doing all right.
That team. The shooty team. The one with
Oh, the
the
ones you
ones that
give me,
work for
yeah,
you.
they're doing all right. Yeah. Velasco's doing better actually. She scared me for a bit there, but she's doing all right. I think she's up for a promotion soon. Anyway, can I get one to go?
Yeah, take it. Get what you need, man.
All right, thanks, pops.
You might
He'll
want to be careful though.
get up.
You might want to be careful that third one on the left right there though. That one come in from that one come in from out of town, so to speak. We kind of weird that.
He'll go over and kind of sniff at it to see if he recognizes it from the meat hall.
Nope.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay.
You swear it smells just like Tennessee corn whiskey.
Oh, baby. He'll look for a little tiny glass
Shot glass.
and pour himself a
Shot
shot.
glass.
Yeah, shot glass.
Yeah, it's kicking.
Whoa!
That's the good stuff. Yeah.
That he's just. I'm gonna roleplay this one because it's been a while. Just like, yeah. I think that's corn, Papa. Woo! Good stuff. But it got no taste to it.
Yeah, somebody in somebody in a hat that funny hat, the one with the curve up on the side, showed up and got handed that off to us. Said it wanted to be a sign of friendship.
Wait. Curved on both sides?
Yeah, curve up in
Maybe
the
a
side. I
little
don't know
bit
what the point of a
pointed?
hat is. A hat. No, just kind of like you would curve up on the sides, kind of like this. Had the dip in the middle.
Oh, me. Yeah, that was cowboy. That was definitely a cowboy. Did he say his name?
No, nobody thought to ask. Everybody was sort of confused by who it was, but he was a friendly guy. Had a great big cow with him. Great big blue cow.
At this point, I'm gonna say it clicks. He knows. Ah, crap. Yeah, Pecos is probably a good. I didn't think they were still around. All right.
And I think Mishi just figured out who it was out of game because I saw that look on her face.
I figured out who it was out of game the moment you said blue cow.
Yeah.
The moment you said blue cow, I was like, he's in the game! Holy shit!
It's like, alright. If he comes around again, tell Pecos to come see us. Cause I want to shake his hand. I didn't think the Americans had anybody. Like I didn't think they were around anymore.
Yeah, they show up
But
from time to time. That one the one with the funny hat, the one with the other funny hat, the tall hat with that great big long white beard, he show up from time to time.
the white man. Wait. All right. But yeah, I'm gonna fill this bad boy up, and see y'all folks later. He even turns around and looks at the Halloween, the Halloween cosplayer, and goes, and he just does this. And he'll take one of the non-Tennessee, non-corn whiskey ones, one that his favorite, and he'll his favorite rum, and he'll pour it in. All right, Papa. I'll see you later.
You be good. Don't do nothing I don't do. Don't get caught if you do.
No promises. He'll walk back out, and that's where he'll will himself to switch back.
All right.
And
As you do
open his
so,
eyes.
as you're coming out of the meditation, you pretty sure you feel a hand on your shoulder, kind of lightly trying to move you or get your attention. And as you finish pulling yourself out of the meditation, you hear Velasco's voice. Sir,
I'm all right. I was saying hi to Daddy.
oh no, yeah, okay, but we you might want to see something we've got for you.
All right. He'll get up, pick up the Veves, put them in his pockets, and go over to wherever she's trying to show him.
All right, she has pulled up on that projector, basically on the wall. They didn't even put up the actual screen. It's just literally projecting right onto the wall. There's a graph on the wall there that reads on the axis of the left-hand side reads inches. Across the bottom reads weeks. The title of the graph is average rainfall in the past week.
Josh, you're echoing, so I'm going to mute you real quick.
So you
All
said,
right.
Somebody's echoing.
So rainfall over the last week is what you were saying?
Yeah. Correct.
Okay.
It goes back about 8 weeks, and the chart starts at roughly about the 2.5 inch mark, and progressively decreases.
I'm going to roll an intelligence science.
That would be why.
I'm going to roll an intelligence science roll to see if I can figure out a natural explanation or a natural after effect about what might be causing this. So this way we might be able to ping. So this way we might be able to ping what the nasties are doing. So 7 dice, intelligence science. This will be a subject authority mathematics, but for slightly different reasons. Oh, that's much better. Does the 10 explode?
It counts double. Actually, yes, it does, because you have a specialty. Yes, it counts double and explodes.
Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 successes, and rolling that 10 again. Nope, only 4 successes to try to figure out what sort of what environmental causes might be causing the drop. We're not looking for the supernatural being causing it. Only what likely effect is causing the shortage of rainfall.
All right, this roll was with the assistance of one of the computers that's been set up there in the room. Basically, the one had been set up to follow weather patterns.
Right.
Egypt looks to be following some sort of an El Nino effect going on over the last couple of weeks, but through additional research, Egypt has never experienced anything like this in literal hundreds of years.
I'm gonna roll a second intelligence science roll to cross-reference that against climate change models.
Okay.
And what I'm expecting is an inverse correlation between the two. But we'll see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes with the exploding specialty in mathematics again. And so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thus far. Rolling again for any more successes. 6 successes with the exploding 10. What do I find in terms of climate change? Climate change models should not be predicting this, correct?
They do not predict that.
Okay, so nowhere near this extent. So this is definitely a supernatural phenomena. With the intelligence science rolls that I've been doing, can I ping roughly to the source geographically of where this El Nino effect, where the center of it is? Or do I need a third roll for that?
You can get the general basis of what you do. You believe it may be centered somewhere maybe about 20 or 25 miles off the coast of Italy.
All right. So the El Nino effect is not just a local problem, from what it looks like. I'm going.
Yeah, looks like it's affecting the majority of the Mediterranean.
At this point, in light of everything that's been happening, Ahmed is going to summon his falcon to him and use it as a link back to his father.
All right. We will move over. We will come right back to that. What we're going to move over to though is that same projection on the wall. She hits another button. Hits a button on the keyboard she has in her hand, and you see another graph basically overlays on top of that one, and along with it appears another color in the legend. That color reading average rainfall. Same thing. It graphs across it, lines across the graph, and as you suspect, the rainfall that has occurred in the last 8 weeks is significantly below average. As she hits the button again, that graph pulls itself to the corner of the screen, and a second graph appears to the right of it that has numbers 50, 70, 90, 110 on the left-hand side of the column, and day and week numbers across the bottom. That graph titled Average Temperatures. As the temperature has increased, rainfall decreased.
That's not a good combination right there.
Ahmed is watching this while he's trying to get in contact with his father and says, "This is what I expected, but I know that climate change predicted desertification, but this is way beyond what the models predict."
Whoa, I have another angle to this. Whoa. I mean, I know all that scientific stuff is really important, and yeah, it's going to screw up the planet eventually, but there's a point here. The river flows from the underworld. I know this country has a weird relationship with death and life, because to them it's the same thing, it's all a cycle. And this being a freaking desert, and them not being smart enough to freaking understand you need to live somewhere with vegetation, but that's the point. Essentially, what I'm getting at is maybe it has something to do with the number of people dying. I mean, the river flows from the underworld, for God's sake. If there's not enough juice coming up here, then there's not enough water coming to the river of life, which is the freaking Nile. It's the freaking heartbeat of the freaking desert you just had to live in.
Oh, I know.
At this point, Jameson points at Thorsten. Just like punctuating what he's saying.
Yep.
Sparky's onto something. When I went to talk to Daddy, he points at the door. Yeah, the underworld's flooding.
And that's precisely why I'm trying to get in contact with Dad, says Ahmet.
So what's the easiest way to find out if enough people have been dying, for lack of a more delicate way to put it?
Oh, well, they haven't been dying for thousands of years, says Ahmet.
Pardon?
There hasn't been enough souls getting into the underworld for thousands of years. Ever since the conversion to Christianity and to Islam here in Egypt, the ancient Egyptian pantheon has been all but the ancient Egyptian following techniques have been all but extincted. There hasn't been a single soul entering Duat for nigh on 2,000 years now, maybe a little more. My dad warned me about this a little while back. He said that's part of the reason he had to become the the guardian for Amon Ray's barge at the every night when it goes back to the underworld. Flows down the river. Hang on, sorry, trying to get the exact name again. Where am I? Yeah, flows down the. Damn it, I can't find the. I just had it here.
In short, what he's meaning is the barge that flows down the river that carries carries Atum Ra is what he's referring to.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to find the name of the bloody river because I had it here like 2 seconds ago.
Well, don't panic about it because you'll only fluster yourself more.
That would be the river Estuat, Durnez.
Yeah, Durnez, that's the one I'm thinking of. But if the Durnez is flood, which if my suspicion is correct, yeah, the Durnez is flooding, which is why I'm trying to get a hold of my dad. I'm hoping that A, he didn't get washed away in the flood, and B, I'm hoping that he'll be able to help me with a. I'm hoping that he'll be able to help me overcome this magic overload in the local area.
Okay. Pyramid, where is it?
Jake points it out on the map.
Okay. So, at this point, Jameson, you know Edric long enough to know that he's about to do something crazy and impulsive, and he's about ready to summon winds of freedom and just take out flying.
Oh, yeah, he's about to go there himself. It's like, Sparky, chill. We're going there shortly.
Give us 5 minutes, okay?
All right.
As a matter of fact,
you got a present from great granddaddy last night, didn't you? Remind us what that was again? 'Cause I was the only one actually there.
Weird silver pinny kind of thing with this Nordic anchor attached to it. It has a kind of a weird greenish kind of machine. Bit funky, kind of runic markings on it. Got me some pretty potent water mojo and a bit of war juice. It's pretty cool stuff. Shame I'm gonna have to return it.
Yep.
All right, Ahmet, you within a couple of moments, you basically feel yourself knocked off of the material plane, and those of you that are still on the material plane see that Jake's body physically just falls prone, with his back to the floor. As Jake, you find yourself drug into the astral plane, to where you see your father is seated at what looks to be a drafting table of some type. In front of him is a papyrus with various notes, looks to be written on the side of it, and a map of what looks to be an actual full-blown map of the Egyptian underworld.
Yep. Jake walks up at it and takes a look at the map and says, "So, I take it you've got a solution to the overload problem, or are matters worse than I could possibly perceive right now?"
Yeah, more the latter. I spoke with one of the other important individuals down here. As much as I didn't want to have to talk to a Greek, I spoke with that Hades guy, and he's telling me that he believes that one of their big guys, the Titans, if you will, has got loose and is doing something down here involving the rivers. See, I don't know how well you know this area or not, but our river, the River Styx, there's some kind of river that runs through the Scandinavian people's underworld. See, they're all connected.
Well, what I'm wondering,
And apparently they're all flooding for some reason.
which means that the Nile and the other rivers up top side won't be able to get anything. I'm going to take a look at the map and roll Intelligence Academia, Specialty Mathematics again, to take a look at the possibility of installing some dams or other phenomena to divert the flow, which combined with a wormhole could divert the flow back to the top world, at least as a temporary solution while dealing with the Titan.
All right, roll it. All right.
And
I will give you that roll. I will give you your result here in just a second.
Okay.
As we come back over to the material plane, like I said, Ahmet just fell prone for no reason, just fainted.
God, is he stroking out again?
Is this
I don't
familiar?
think heat
Is this-
stroke would have knocked him out that fast. I'm just gonna stick a pillow under his head and, God damn it, Annalise.
Is this
As the cat
familiar to
just-
Jameson from his mama?
Say again, Walt?
Is this type of thing familiar to Jameson from his mama right before the next stage, if you get my meaning?
You've seen things like this happen before, but you've never seen Jake do it.
Okay. He must be doing what I was doing just a minute ago. I didn't think he could do that.
Can you people give me some warning before people just start going off in the spirit and weirding me the fuck out? Okay.
Annalise just kind of thwomp right on top of Jake. Like, the human fell down, I'm gonna protect the human.
Good cat. Uncle Eddie's gonna bust somebody's ass in a minute if there ain't no freaking rain, and I gotta make it rain.
Also-
Rain on these things.
And Jake, I'm sorry that your character is on a different plane, so he probably won't get to experience this. All right, those of you that are still awake, are still conscious, a unusually cold wind has just blown through the room, and the windows are closed.
That was interesting.
Okay. All right, where are you? He's looking around trying to find where it came from.
Not sure. But you do hear, immediately following that wind, what you swear sounds like a crack of thunder.
And when Jameson hears that, he looks directly at Sparky. Just stares at him. Doesn't say a thing.
Rose is just kind of looking at her cousin too, like, what did you do?
I didn't do it. It's probably just the whole team. He just looks around. Dad, I know you like to make an entrance, but jeez, man, don't leave me out here to dry.
You, as the three of you were kind of, trying to make heads or tails of this, you see a brilliant flash of white light. And within a couple of seconds, it dissipates. And you can make out the silhouette as your eyes are readjusting of a large, very large, muscular individual that is standing in the middle of the room. In one of his hands, he holds what looks to be a warhammer.
Hey, Pop.
We've been to his house before.
Yet again, Hendrik just kind of looks at the giant version of himself with the red hair streaming and the just deadly fiery eyes, and he's just kind of like, I realize you like to kind of show off, but next time a little warning would be appreciated. I mean, granted, I know you.
I gave you warning. You received warning.
Okay, so noted for the group. Every time thunderclaps assume cavalry. Okay, got it. Thanks. Greatly appreciated.
Well, I would
And when
not
he,
so
when he
much,
says cavalry, he looks like Naveau.
I don't know if I would so much use that terminology, as Father has requested that I come to bring you information. He is weak at the moment, and I fear he will be entering his sleep sometime soon. But he wished for me to relay information to you, information that may be of benefit.
Alright. He just kind of leans forward a little bit pensively, clearly listening, and you just kind of see this great mark of distress, like, he's playing it as cool as he possibly can, but he's like, Grandpa's going down for the 3-month period, batten off the freaking hatches! Jeez!
Yep. It came to the Allfather's knowledge just mere hours ago. Over a few of your Earth hours. He was in the middle of a great game with that gentleman from the Greek pantheon, the Zeus, I believe his name was. In the middle of some game of knights and pawns, but a messenger arrived to Valhalla from Helheim, and this messenger explained that Helheim's waters have begun to flood.
Hendrik looks clearly concerned for a minute. The river sled is overflowing. Okay, that could be bad. That could be very bad. Okay, good to know. See, the balance is all out of whack, and you just have to live in the desert. He points to Jake. You know, people just have to live in the desert, and every time the balance gets out of whack, okay.
No, you can wait until he's done talking to his daddy to yell at him.
Okay, alright. Sorry.
It's alright, I've got a few things I want to kick his ass for, too.
Yeah. Alright, so back over on the astral plane. Your role gives you a general idea of where you could possibly place a few of those dams.
A
But
couple of
basically,
dams
as
and
you're
a
looking
wormhole.
up, yeah,
The thing is,
as you're basically, as you keep looking up from the map, basically trying to orient yourself, you see that the problem is even larger than you had perceived that it would be. The river is lapping at your feet as you look down, and you, by your reckoning from his map and from your own dead reckoning, you should be nowhere near the river.
Yeah. Jake looks to Horace and says, "You taught me how to. You were the one who taught me how to build those portals bouncing through the Great Pyramid. Could we work together with me being back on the other end, and using the Falcon as a linking point to between our two locations to open a wormhole to flood the river Dernas back into the River Nile as a temporary solution until to ease off some of the flooding as kind of a pressure valve temporarily until we deal with the Titan."
That would work. That would work, were it not for those things that are in it now. If the river in short is basically just sent back the other direction, it's going to send back everything that's in it.
What if we put up a filter in the process, like a gate on the wormhole, something that would literally keep the serpent demons at bay on this side of the portal? I know that Isis could easily put up a barrier if we manage to get her help.
She could, but I've not heard from her in some time.
I know that she's been looking for Osiris about half the time and found his body parts at one point. Could we try to get a hold of him and see whether or not he knows where she is?
Likewise, both of them seem to be missing.
They're not at they're not in the temple in the temple where Osiris normally sits.
They're not, which is what has myself as well. Myself and Thoth both concerned, as the reason he is not here with me now is Thoth is pulling guard duty on Autumn Ra's barge right now.
Wait, that shouldn't be possible. Autumn Ra should be in the sky right now.
Horace nods.
It's not nighttime. It's not nighttime. He should be in the sky right now with Apollo.
Autumn Ra nods, or Horace nods. Likewise, he should be.
I've got an idea, but I'm going to need to travel back to my body to do it. Can you get a hold? If Autumn Ra is still dead right now, could you possibly send a messenger over to Apollo? I've got an idea for how to open a portal and literally focus the sun's rays to be able to incinerate whatever tries to come through. We'll need a giant lens to do it.
I can relay the message.
Yeah,
I can relay the message, but there's no guarantee that he'll get it.
All right. Well, if you could try that, I'm going to get back to my side, and if we could work together to open a portal, I'm going to try to focus a giant lens or some technique of that to be able to focus an incineration beam on whatever comes through.
You do
As
that.
one possibility. All right.
All right.
Signing off, and with that, Jake tries to pop back to his own body.
Yep. You find yourself staring at the ceiling of the room that you were just in.
Yeah.
As you attempt to rise, the silhouette of a large, muscular individual has placed itself over you, and looking down upon you is the face of the gentleman that you know to be Thor from having met him in Valhalla.
Ah, Thor! Just the person I needed to talk to, anyway.
There's not enough land resources to just go even and move it around. Grandpa jobs are going down pretty hard pretty soon. It's kind of a big deal. Odin Sleep, huge thing. He's got the job to do. He's got to make sure that the big, scary freaking things don't attack the freaking All-Father. It's the big
Thor's hand
job.
rises. Thor's hand rises. It is understood. It is understood, my sons, but there is much that must be done on Midgard before I can return. Namely, this. What is it that you would request of me? As he turns to you, Jake.
Do any of the dwarves or anyone you work with, would they be able to either fashion a giant lens to focus Apollo's rays, or would you be able to directly smite anything that comes out of a portal? I've talked with my father, and we figured out.
The latter is most likely not possible, as my power is limited in Midgard, as is my time to remain here.
I've talked with my father, and we figured out that we could, until we can deal with the Titan that is causing all the rivers to flood, we figured out a way to address the problem of flooding the rivers back into the Nile as a temporary solution. Problem is, though, I need something that will focus the sun's rays to literally incinerate anything that comes through the portal.
You wish to incinerate the river?
I wish to incinerate the demons in the river.
Okay, here's the problem. You're talking about focusing the entire sun into a very compact little laser and aiming it at a body of water that evaporates.
There will be enough water to come back through, given the over amount of flooding of all three rivers. The main issue is trying to make sure that the serpent demons and other things that are in the river do not come back to this side. That's why we need the focusing ray.
Okay, focusing ray, elaborate plan. How about we just do the smashy smash the big snake so that the rivers flow back the way that you pretty much said, except without the big freaking Archimedes death ray.
Because the
At
number
this,
of things that
Jameson
are...
reaches to his machete and pulls it out and just grins. I like his idea.
Jake says, much
There
as...
is peace. Peace, gentlemen. The plan would be sound, but as my father, as the All-Father, believes there to be, the flooding of one river has caused the flooding of all, and to force your river backwards would also force backwards the rivers that are connected. This Nile, this Styx, they would all return but to a single source.
And that's the idea for dealing with the flooding in the underworld. The only problem is the serpent demons and other things that might try to come back through the portal by reversing the flooding.
Thor, he shakes his head. If there are these creatures, as you say, are in your river, there is the possibility that they would find their way to Helheim, and that is something that I cannot risk.
Even though it's a bit of a family business, kind of trying to smash sea serpents, but still, we can't be everywhere.
We may have to go to the source. Hate the idea, but...
Oh, for crying out loud. Just call me, what was it, Orpheus? I'm down, let's go, let's move.
Well, I leave the quandary to you to uncover, as my time is I am being recalled. But do what you will with the information.
At this, Jake, trying to get out from under the cat, opens a portal directly to that section off the coast of Italy, which you remembered from earlier, suspecting that that's the source of the problem, as the El Nino activity was centered around there as well.
Rose runs to her room and comes back about 10 seconds later with her foreplay mace over her shoulder. Got a feeling I'm going to need this.
Probably so.
All right, two successes to open the portal correctly.
You see again that brilliant flash of light, that brilliant flash of blinding light as you hear the thunder and that cool breeze, and as your eyes adjust, you see that Thor has disappeared.
Ladies and gentlemen, Elvis has left the building. Now to play understudy. Okay. It was a good idea, Jake. I'm not saying that it's a bad idea. But it's some unmitigated goal to ask the Guardian of the Nine Realms to just bring Bug Squisher because he wanted to get out. What did I know?
While Edric is berating Jake, George is taking off his red shirt.
Okay.
And he's got
please, let's go.
he's got what the normal people would look like camo coveralls on underneath, but everybody else it looks like that armor.
All right.
And he'll take off the shirt and hang it over the chair he was in.
By the way,
Squad,
Will,
let's go. Shoot up.
By the way, Will,
Yes.
that was 2 successes to open a portal to wherever we were supposed to go.
Okay. All right. Well, here's the thing. Did you want to go to Italy, or did you want to portal over to the Great Pyramid?
Portaling over to the Great Pyramid.
Okay.
Ding dong.
So, yeah, you are opened. It's opened, and it looks to be it's holding stable, but it's rapidly falling apart.
Okay.
Jake jumps through and yells everyone else to follow through with him.
Yeah. When's freedom not even letting that thing decompose on me anymore? Just.
Rose and Natalie
Also,
jump
Josh,
through next.
if you could, Josh, can you reload your Hangout for me, real quick, because your robot is really hard.
Okay.
Am I still roboting?
Nope,
You're
fine.
good.
You're fine. Yeah, you've been fine the whole time.
Mhm.
All right. So, and I'll explain this when he jumps back in. But as you guys jump through, you do notice Captain Jameson, as your boys were basically shutting everything down as you were going through.
Mhm.
Basically closing laptops, turning off computers, the
Right.
works. So, but yeah, as you guys jump through, you find yourself somewhat look to be almost floating, almost as if your body, the spirit has left the body, so to some degree. You find yourself floating right around where what you recognize to be the Great Pyramid. As you make your way, as you get there, immediately you feel yourself being almost pulled, if you will, up towards into the heavens, specifically towards the constellation of not Draco, the other one. Let me double check my
Orion.
notes here. Yeah, towards Orion. Yeah.
Mhm.
As you are pulled through the middle of that constellation, you find yourself landing, and not so much landing as more of a kind of floating through, almost looks kind of like a dreamlike state, kind of a fog of sorts, just on the edges of your peripheral. Ahead of you, you see what looks to be two large clay-like pillars. Above the pillars is a single overarching actual arch. In the dead middle of that arch, is carved a very unique looking insect. Jake, you recognize the scarab.
I wish you guys a good voyage and have a lot of fun. But
Yep.
Yep. You recognize that it is a scarab in the archway of the two pillars. And as you begin to approach the gate, it begins to get warm, like a warmth begins to emanate off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And those of you that had not ever been here before, they were right. This place is in really bad shape. You could see, again, and as you have approached that gate, that fogginess in your peripheral seems to dissipate away, and you can see all around you are places where that river should not be that wide. And it's not necessarily because you've been here before, just general knowledge of geography, of how rivers work. It should not be that wide. Not when, there's tops of buildings, or it looks like tops of buildings are on basically level with the river.
That's not good.
I'm going to have Jake roll. Am I still echoing?
Yeah, slightly off of Josh, but it's not bad. Not to
Okay.
me, anyway.
Okay. I'm going to have Jake roll. Intelligence Academics to figure out if he can track back where the where the Titan is.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
Tracking the actual Titan, even with 4 successes, you don't see you don't even see anything that looks remotely close to a Titan.
So I'm going to have Jake roll that. I'm going to have Jake roll Intelligence Academics again, specifically to open a portal through the river. He's literally going to walk into the river with a sigil and basically reconnecting this river, basically reconnecting the river bank, and opening the portal just enough to flood only the water through to the back to the Nile. Not the it'll be a slow trickle, but it'll start causing some of the water to go through without the serpents being able to get through because they're not large enough to go through.
All right, give it a shot.
We might want to increase the difficulty on this one because again, there's a whole size in particular.
It's increased. I'm not going to tell you how high it's increased, but it's increased.
All right, Then in that case, we got a 10. That should be 2
Okay.
successes.
That's 10. Yep, that's 2, and it'll explode.
2, it explodes, and let's see what we grab with that. 2 more explodes. So that's 4.
Okay.
And let's see. 1 more. That was a botch.
Okay. So what? 6 total.
Think so. 6 total.
So yeah, you do feel. You can feel since you stepped into it. You feel that there is a current to the river, and upon you opening up this portal, you can feel a slight shift in the current, though not a very strong one. It's almost as if the current it's almost like you're forcing the current to go in a way that it should not naturally be flowing.
All right, so it does. So at least we've got a trickle back to the.
Dining room table. Does anybody want to drink it?
Crap. I would get to that tea, but I'm currently. I would get to that tea in the living room, but I'm currently pinned by cats. Sorry, where was I? Yes. Basically. Jake realizing that this is going to be a slow current thing, basically tries to look around for something that he can put over the portal, so this way nothing will get through.
Looks like the Brussels sprouts dish.
The only thing that you see is what looks like the remnants of some kind of a makeshift hut of some type, or some type of makeshift shelter.
Okay. Jake's going to go over and look inside to see if anyone's there.
Yes, there are several people inside.
Oh. Well, so much for that plan, then. Jake returns to the group and basically...
Oh, and by the way, Jake, when you stepped away from the gate, you have felt an immediate biting cold go through you.
Yeah. Jake returns back to the gate and basically waits for the rest of the group to decide what they're going to do.
Yep, same thing. As you come back to the gate, that cold just literally just kind of fades away into that nice, numbing warmth, that very, soothing warmth, that warmth that you get under a nice soft blanket on a long, cold winter's night.
So Rosalind kind of crosses her arms. So, any idea where we're supposed to go from here?
I'm going to roll intelligence occult to figure out what to do next. Just to get an idea. 1, 2, 3 successes. Well.
Okay. From what you remember, the gates are in a series, but in order to get to each gate, there's not really a quote-unquote roadmap of sorts to do that. Not that you can find here anyway.
I think
the only thing that pops to mind is something about the Book of the Dead.
Hang on. I'm pretty sure I gave my character eidetic memory.
Okay. Just kind of yelling out, what in the hell is the portal for, and why do you keep folding space-time like it's origami?
That was. Jake
That should
says
have
that
been
was.
funny.
Jake says that was just a temporary fix to try to slow the problem while we're finding the. That was just a band-aid to address the problem when we deal with the real problem.
Water go, please.
At this point, Jake remembering that remember he saw the map of the underworld, right? What would I
Yeah.
need to roll to remember the exact location of all the remaining gates?
Well, rolling Dex crafts to use water control and push more of the frickin' water through the frickin' portal, even though I don't know what in the world this guy's doing. I'm essentially assuming that he vaguely knows what he's doing, so there, just open to God.
You will need to make me. Actually, do you happen to have? This is to you, Jake. Do you happen to have the Psychopomp purview, or have the unerring orientation knack or boon?
Let me take a look. I'm not sure where it says what my purviews are.
It would be under birthrights in your relic.
There you go.
No, under my relic, I have justice. Hold on, let me take a look. I have justice, and I'm not sure. Let me check my knacks to see what I've got there. No, crushing grip and hurl to the horizon.
Alrighty.
Without either of those two, even with your eidetic memory, without either of those two, you can remember where the gates were on the map, but not exactly how to get from one gate to the other.
Well, you see, the thing is, I just wanted to know where the gates were, because I don't necessarily need to know how to get to them through the desert. You see where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah, you can try it. You can try it and see what happens. All right. And as far as your water purview there, Josh.
Yep.
Something's getting through, but same thing. It feels like something considerably stronger than you are is working against you.
Okay. Well, something is yanking the water the other way than the way I want it to go, so essentially I'm going to follow the current up to this thing that's messing with my water because I am telling it to go somewhere and it's not obeying my commands and it's annoying me.
All right.
And
Also, same thing. You stepped away from the gate.
Rosalind, seeing her cousin run off like this, glances at Jake and Jameson, says, I better go after him before he gets himself killed. Takes off. Adelaide's behind her.
Since I remember where...
every time that
You better. Huh.
Pardon?
Every time that you guys are leaving the gate, every time that you are leaving the presence of those columns, you feel that same biting below freezing cold flows hit you like a ton of bricks.
Okay, so since you didn't actually see that, Will, I have to do this under your auspices. I'm gonna roll an intelligence academics specifically to open a portal to gate number 12.
Okay, give it a shot.
Because gate number 12 is most likely where Osiris is.
Okay.
Okay, that is 2 successes.
The portal begins to open and immediately begins to close. Something is working against you.
I'm going to roll a second...
No. You understand this before you make a second roll. Something of immense, outrageous power is working against you.
Mm-hmm.
Can I roll Intelligence Occult to track that power back to its source?
Yes, you can. You will need a particularly high roll, however.
That's fair. I just want to know if that's something I can do. One got neutralized, but assuming difficulty 9, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 successes, counting an explosion.
Okay.
Counting an explosion because I used the mathematical specialty. That rolled 1 becomes another success, so that's 5 successes.
Whatever this thing is, or whatever it is that's working against you, is at least quadruple your legend score.
Do I know from the Intelligence Occult where it is?
Here. It's just here. All around you. Here.
Just
Crap.
giant Norseman
Now that it,
muttering the river current, following it.
really, you didn't really notice it at first, but now that you've been here for a moment, either it's noticed you, or something's happened that you can notice it, and at this point, it's not just you. Everyone begins to feel almost like a suffocating presence around them, almost like you would, as if you would find yourself in the presence of, something like Cthulhu-esque power level, something frighteningly powerful.
Go down to the underworld, they said. Great idea, they said. We'll figure it out, they said.
You'll be fine, they said.
Quit your bitching.
I'm not bitching. I'm essentially
I'm not
annoyed.
complaining. I'm having fun. He pulls out his
Everything in this place
machete
is
and looks
okay.
around for something to hit.
There's nothing here. This is the most coldest, bleakest place you think you have ever seen or felt in your life.
What kind of jacked up underworld god do you people have? I'm guessing
So
this.
the warmth just took a U-turn.
Yeah.
Good
This
thing
feels
I've
like-
got, quarter one.
Like I said,
Really cold.
Josh, this is for you specifically. Only you have seen this. You're far enough ahead of them in the river to see it. As you are working your way back up the river, some distance away, same thing though, as you've headed away, that same cloudiness around your peripheral vision begins to return. You see some distance up ahead what looks like a boat of some type.
Okay. So, funky boat made out of reeds, definitely getting in the boat. And what am I?
No. As you approach it, it's not reed. It's bone.
Okay. Great.
And you recognize this boat. Written or carved into the side of the vessel is the letters CHARON.
The ferryman is lost underwater. This is great. Okay. Essentially, Edric getting more and more frustrated with the extremely possessed milieu of this place that feels kind of like grim death. Now knowing that the Reaper who's keeping order in a lot of these places and varying between dimensions is not where he's supposed to be, he's getting very ticked off, but he's essentially just bellowing, "Someone lost a Reaper in this godforsaken desert!"
Rosalind yells back, "Well, why don't you wait till the rest of us catch up with your ass?"
Not my fault you're slow.
Not my fault you can't, I don't know, keep your fucking head on straight. You take after your daddy. Always gotta save everyone.
Skeletal hand.
Not a thought
skeletal
to your own
hand,
safety.
Josh. A skeletal hand reaches out from the boat towards your direction.
Hmm? So, skeletal hand is coming out of the water?
No, from the boat. From the boat.
Okay. So, kind of whirls around to face the guy?
It is literally the ferryman. Has basically reached out to offer to pull you into the boat. He's not actually doing it. It's more like he's offering than he is actually doing it. And oh, by the way, Jake, congratulations. Your portal opened, but not at the 12th gate.
Where did it open?
Splash. You just stepped out of the portal straight into the river. Right beside of them, actually.
Hi, Jake. You could have run like the rest of us.
Okay.
Actually, I can imagine that with what George could do now, he put his machete away and dove in and went swimming. And popped his head up occasionally.
All right. Also, those of you that are in the river, swimming in the river, though they don't seem to be paying you a lot of attention right now, are these long snake-like beings. Though they look to be more astral in their appearance, but you do see that their being, their form looks to have the beginnings of almost where a astral being has begun to fuse with a physical being, where you see that you can see physical bone within the form, but there's not enough bone to form a full endo or exoskeleton.
So these things are kind of halfway between Ethicene and corporeal, which gives me the thorough EBGBs, and essentially I take the ferryman's hand, get on the boat, and go, what the hell's going on in this jacked up underworld?
At that, you see Karen turns to you, removing the hood that he had been wearing. As he does so, you notice that there is no bottom jaw, and the other hand forms just the pointer finger, and repeatedly points to his missing jaw.
Where'd you lose it? In general direction-wise, anyway.
Karen face palms.
He never had one, Edric.
Crud. That really sucks for him.
He's mute for a reason.
Oh, crap. Foreigners. Okay. Alright.
Foreigners? God, I love Edric. Are you gonna hop in the boat there, Jake?
Yep.
Just out of
Jake
curiosity.
climbs into the boat.
Never did quite understand the Greeks.
Roz and Adelise climb into the boat too.
Alright. As the party has boarded, Adelise actually almost tipping the boat, almost capsizing the boat as her boat kind of rocks it to its side, and the boat kind of settles back where it should be.
Well, it's not like
feel-
It's not like she's 6 feet long and 200 pounds and still a kitten or anything.
Yeah, figure that one out. Imagine that. But as you guys have got on safely, you immediately feel another presence with you. Though this presence does not feel malevolent in any, does not feel like a malevolent presence. Feels like the presence of an old friend.
Boy, this place is just creepy. Too many ghosty things. And I'm just kind of looking around a bit suspicious now.
Upon saying this place is creepy, you hear a voice. Yes, it is, isn't it?
Is everything normally so heavily desiccated around here?
I wouldn't know. They very rarely ever send me through here.
He kind of turns to face the voice, a bit confused. Pardon.
The voice belongs to a smaller gentleman, kind of a thin-framed gentleman. A shirt of sorts, almost like looks more like a tunic of sorts that is skin tight to his body. As you follow it down, it ends in a pair of shorts just above the knee. And as you follow the rest of the leg down, it ends in a pair of sandals, a silver or a goldish silver winged attached to the back of each sandal.
So what brings you here, Hermes? Says Jake.
Well, given the fact that he's mute, at which time you see Karen's bony hand extend as a single middle finger extends off of it. Yeah, love you too. Given that he can't tell you, Zeus sent me down here because he kind of had a suspicion that you would come down here.
Were we supposed to go to the Italy location?
No, that's not it. No, that's not at all where you're fine here. But actually, you know what? Let me back up. I tell everyone that Zeus sent me here, but in reality, he has no idea that I'm here. None of them know where I am right now. The only one that does is Hades. And the only reason why is because I believe that old fool.
Okay.
You do know that all the rivers of the underworld are connected, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been told.
Okay, well, here's what Hades believes. And he's trying to tell this to the rest of my pantheon, and no one wants to believe him, especially not Zeus. Zeus is, for some reason, is convinced that it's Hades trying to get back at him for that whole, short end of the stick deal. But Hades is led to believe that Gaia, who we've already imprisoned once before, has got loose again. That much we know is true, but she's got loose again. And she's planning something huge, something that involves the underworlds. To which Hades is very upset with the problem because he believes that she intends to flood the underworld. Now, as Hermes is telling you this, you guys are continuing to flow down the river. He believes that she intends to flood all of the rivers. And in flooding all the rivers, collect up the souls of those that have passed.
Mm-hmm.
And once she has collected all of these souls, he believes her plan is to reverse the flow of the river, so to speak, to push the souls of the dead out of the lands of the dead, out onto your plane of existence, out onto Earth.
Mm-hmm. So, praised hippie Earth Mother, spirit of weirdness, is planning to perform a massive necromantic rite in which he's throwing up the entire circle of reincarnation and everything else, involving literally the entire plane of death, connected by these rivers.
Hermes is nodding the whole time.
And essentially, because she feels like collecting their jellies and eating people's souls and becoming a bigger pain in my ass. Oh no! Oh no! I am throwing a freaking wrench into this land if it kills me.
It gets worse.
Yeah?
Some of your brethren, a few years ago, there was a group that one of them sacrificed themselves to ensure that Kronos would remain in prison. In doing this, he was given his godhood. And he has Kronos locked in eternal battle within the Earth itself.
Okay.
Between myself and Hades, we are pretty sure that Gaia knows his location.
Okay.
If she's allowed to carry out her full plan, we honestly believe that she is going to attempt to crack the Earth and free him from his prison, and convince him to reset time to a time before the gods of my pantheon, your pantheon, of any pantheon existed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's just gonna ruin our whole fucking day, isn't it?
Yeah, I hear one of the
If I'm thinking that knowledge is not my strong suit, but if I'm putting two and two together and getting four properly, we go poof if that happens.
she's
Yeah,
talking
you're
about,
getting 4.
Yep,
yeah.
you're getting 4.
Validating existence by basically pulling a Bonnie and Clyde with this father of all the primordial goofiness of the Greeks and essentially screwing with the whole space-time continuum just because they want to be assholes. Congratulations, primordials win, everybody loses.
Josh,
I'm gonna have to go.
Josh, you are roboting so hard, and I hate it, because I really want to hear this amazing rant that Edric is making.
Okay.
At this, Jake says to Hermes, I have an idea on how to deal with Gaia, but I don't think we can do it with any less than the entire...
Okay! Ranting again!
Yeah.
Essentially, this premenstrual bitch is planning to throw a gigantic hissy fit and dominate the entirety of existence just because she wants to pull a Bonnie and Clyde, screw all of us out of existence because she already lost. Primordials win, everybody wins the day, blah, invaliding of all existence because they're sore losers. This is just miserable. I'm not going to let this pass. If I wind up dying 20,000 times, I'm just going to be giving this bitch the middle finger all day long. No.
Well,
Somebody
here's
turn
the good
Well,
news.
Sparky off and
gentlemen,
on again.
my
Boy.
cousin. He said it better than I could have. Let's go get this guy a bit.
Well, here's the good news. I've already talked to Karen as much as I can talk to a man that has no jaw. To which you see Karen's skeletal arm reach out and smack Hermes over the back of the head.
Right.
What? It's true. Anyway, I've already talked to Karen, and he has agreed that we are going to do our best to divert out of this river back over to Stygia. Because Hades knows or has a suspicion of how to stop all of this. But he can't exist. He's like all of us are. He's not strong enough, and most likely will never be strong enough to manifest onto your plane long enough to get anything done.
What about channeling raw power? Says Jake.
I don't know. That's not really my area. Let's face it, guys. I'm an overglorified mailman.
No arguments here.
Hey,
He
you
just
said it,
grins.
not us.
Facts are facts. But yeah, we're gonna. He's gonna divert us as best he can back over to Stygia. Hades has some items that he wants to hand off to you that maybe might get the job done. And have any of the rest of you guys noticed that really suffocating presence down here?
Yes. That thing is about quadruple my power level.
Yeah, let's get out of here soon. Let's pick up the pace and get out of here. This place is starting to creep me out. So, several moments, which feels more like hours, down here especially, pass. And you come to what looks like a fork in the river, though it looks like the fork has been forced into existence. It doesn't look like it naturally occurs. And you feel Karen maneuvers the vessel over to that fork. And at this point, you can feel that he's rowing against the current.
I'm going to roll for a specific portal to an old motor store that I happen to know back in the U.S.
Okay.
This is something I was meaning. This is something I mentioned in a previous episode that I've been promising Karen for a while. And yeah, fail. Can't get past the. Can't get back to the upside world.
Yep.
So much for that electric motor, buddy. I know I promised you one, but I'll have to do it the next time I'm down here.
Okay. Well, as much as I would love to see an outboard motor on this thing with this creepy crocodile of doom and death and decay just putting around over here looking like it's like we're Captain Luke's ass, I'll just as soon settle for doing this. And essentially what Hendrick's trying to do is sculpt some of the water using the second level of the water purview and making another paddle and helping the freaking skeletons get all moving.
Alright.
Gonna go ahead and make that roll real quick.
Alright, can do.
And yeah, I got one. Because curse you ones, you just have to solve my game.
It's not the best looking paddle in the world. It's extremely crude, but it'll get the job done.
Well, it's made out of water, so I did awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically just helping the skeleton cut the waves as quickly as possible. Let's get the hell out of here. This place is crazy.
Alright, so same thing, feels like hours that you're heading towards that, that you, before you leave that really suffocating presence behind. And the moment that you do, you immediately feel relief.
Mm-hmm.
Well, gentlemen, madam, welcome to Stygia.
As they're walking through Stygia,
Walking?
well, no, they're on the edge of the bank, right?
No, you're still
Still in the boat.
You're still in the boat.
It's a river. It's a green, blackish, funky river of doom.
Yep.
All right.
You also can see
We
those.
just took a
You also
jog
see those
to the right.
same snake-like creatures that you were seeing at in Duat. You're not seeing them here.
No, just tell me.
Though you do see occasionally you see what looks like souls that are in the river that are just kind of bobbing there, kind of not really sure where they're going.
So is the plane of death just one giant ocean if all these are avatars of death, meaning that they're giant freaking rivers?
Pretty much, yeah.
Just out of curiosity, while we go by, do we see a wraith hovering on the shore trying to draw equations in the sand?
No.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Actually, see, I get the joke, but actually, I'm glad you mentioned that because there is something important that you might not mean know what it is now, but it'll be important later. As you were going by, there is on the shore, on the opposing shoreline, not on the actual Stygia side of the shore, you see what looks like the spirit of a small child that is sitting on the shoreline, quite literally building sandcastles.
Hey.
I know you're in a role-play nation.
Mm.
Oh, Will.
As you pass, she rises from her play, and she begins running out into the water, attempting to wave Karen down. And you see in her hand are two shiny coins. Though if Karen has seen her, he has completely ignored her.
Any particular reason why we're ignoring the kid? Directed at Karen, obviously.
You get nothing. He doesn't even respond. Obviously, he can't verbally, but you don't even get a physical response.
By the way, dude, I gotta get you a notepad. Seriously, we gotta have some conversations eventually. This is yeah. I understand the
Up
pantomime.
beside walk up beside El Capitan and point her out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, get up essentially behind him and arm out and pointing at her.
The head turns back to you
Mhm.
and shakes as if to say no.
Well, why the hell not?
Is she already on the other side? You already took her?
At this point, you see that he actually has placed the oar of the boat against the boat, turning it into the shoreline of Stygia. And you see he points at the shoreline. Then he points back towards himself as if he's asking you to bring him something.
Mm.
In other words, the opposite side of where the girl is.
Correct.
Huh.
He makes what looks like a scooping motion with his hand, and he points towards the shoreline.
Sand from the shore. Oh. Okay. Hop out and scoop up some with his own hand and bring it back. And like before he gets in, show it to him. Like, this what you wanted?
Karen nods, and he points towards Karen nods as he again makes a scooping motion, and he points onto the deck, points down to the deck of the boat.
And then hops in.
Karen's head looks down towards the sand, and the sand begins to move, almost as if it's spelling, almost like spelling out letters. And it spells out the word. It spells out the word lost.
Mm-hmm. So the kid is in an existential state of perpetual bewilderment because she doesn't know where the hell she's supposed to go.
Karen nods slowly.
Damn.
Oh.
Existential purgatory. Weird shit.
So she's already crossed, but thinks that she hasn't crossed.
Well,
Or
I
has
mean,
no idea from the river
Karen's
where to
head.
go.
Karen disagrees. Karen disagrees. As you see the sand again begins to form letters. Not iterate, and then it begins to form again. The word suppose, then it forms the word here.
She's not supposed to be here?
well,
Karen nods.
Oh.
Well, where is she supposed to be then?
alive? She's like 6.
Well, yeah, she's obviously
That
supposed to
same
be
bony
alive.
skeletal hand. That skeletal hand forms the pointer finger outward as he points upward.
Mm-hmm.
She's supposed to be over in the world.
Then you see he points to one of his eye sockets, makes a pinching like motion with his fingers, and with his thumb slices across where his neck would be.
Mm-hmm. So she was murdered.
And because she was murdered, she has to stay there on the shore.
Well, she hasn't reconciled her death.
Hmm. Well, that makes sense, but what can we
Same
do to help
thing.
her?
The hand opens as if to say stop. Again, he explicitly points at one of his eye sockets.
Mm-hmm.
Then he points down to the deck where the sand forms the word sisters.
Oh. Heavy shit, man. Heavy.
That could be interpreted multiple ways. Was she killed by her sister?
Again, he makes that physical looking face palm as the sand reforms.
He's waiting on him.
She's waiting for her sister.
He
Okay.
points to the eye socket. He points to the eye socket. Again, forms the word sisters. Forms the word string.
Oh shit.
Oh!
The sisters sent her here before her time.
So she's got to wait until it would have been her time, I guess.
God, that's a waste of your life.
Words form can't help.
Can't help. Can't help. That's kind of the point of being God-sworn and everything, isn't it? We help people.
That is fucking ridiculous, and if I ever meet the Fates, I'm gonna kick their asses.
Good old-fashioned, heavy-duty Nordic cunt punching.
I'm gonna kick them so hard that whatever spawned them will feel it. And whatever spawned them too. Whatever was there before the Fates, they all gonna feel it when I kick their asses.
For once, you and I are in complete agreement.
Yep. At this point, the sand begins to kind of pick up into a bit of a small vortex, and as it blows, it blows across the waters back onto the shoreline.
He looks at the sand as it streams and looks back at Karin, looks at the sand. You mean you could have done that yourself?
Why would he when he could have got you to do it for him?
He has so few job perks. You gotta give it to the man.
Karen's head nods. Karen's head nods as Hermes just you see Hermes' head is kind of cocked in confusion, looking over at Karen as he speaks. You have one job.
Okay, that's
One
3 successes.
job.
Exploding
Hey.
success.
Jameson points at Karin and says, "I'll remember that someday."
3 successes, followed by an intelligence occult roll. That one got neutralized. But 1, 2, 3 successes with an exploding success.
Oh snap!
Okay, so that's 3 successes on the intelligence science roll, followed by 4 successes on the intelligence occult roll to realize for Jake to make a realization.
Regarding the little girl, or just
Oh, regarding the Fates, I think he just discovered something regarding the connection between string theory and the Fates. Literally.
Okay.
Oh boy!
he
Which means
actually.
that he
All right,
real-
now those of you, Karen raised the same thing, the finger, as he points points across the front of you guys, and he points over at the shore as he waves at you.
Okay. Debarkation.
Yep. Walks off the boat.
Roz jumps
Sorry.
off the boat, still muttering about wanting to kick the Fate's asses. And Adelise just kind of slinks along behind her like, oh shit, Mom's mad.
Yeah. I wouldn't normally comment on such injustices, but the level of atrocity has reached such a high point that he's almost as red as his hair. He's just kind of stomping along like a force of nature, just completely just crunch, sand kicking up, just moving as quickly as he possibly can.
We will go ahead and advance time to where Hermes has basically helped you to Hades' actual, place of where he's actually taking residence down here.
Mm-hmm.
And what you see doesn't seem to affect Hades or Hermes in the least. You're sure, beyond a shadow of a doubt, you're sure you are looking at what looks like a white trash trailer park.
Oh my
Yeah.
god! Oh my god! The one of the
Jameson
giant.
looks back at like does almost like mental calculations like he's seen Jake do. He just goes, "Oh no," and does his own face palm. It's summer. Yeah, it's summer. Oh no.
Roz just kind of stares. All thoughts of kicking some Fate ass just evaporated, and you can just see her brain has stalled.
Like I said, like I've been
More
saying.
cogs start grinding. He's just like, please don't let this be what I think it's gonna be.
You were standing here trying to make heads and tails of what you're seeing. You see a door of what looks like an actual full-blown camper, not a trailer, an actual camper. The door flies open, and a young woman runs out of the door. A couple of seconds pass, and a large, heavy-set gentleman approaches the door. A shirt that is clearly too small for him fails at attempting to hold in what you're pretty sure is a beer belly beneath a pair of polka-dotted and striped what looks to be pajama pants. He yells out the door, "Persephone, you get your ass back in this trailer right now!"
Oh my! Just literally entering his face.
Rosa's brain unlocks at that exact moment, and she just looks at Edric. Are we gonna kick some ass?
I think so. This is some seriously ghetto bullshit. The warden of the freaking Titans is sitting here in a trailer park dealing crack. What the world?
Jameson is
Come on.
still face palming, just not, and he nods when he hears Persephone. I was afraid of that. Wait for Demeter. Wait for Demeter. Where is she?
You hear a female voice. You hear a female voice. "She's coming with me, Hades." Hades yells back, "You signed the paper, you idiotic woman. It ain't time yet."
Jake pulls out.
Ooh.
Jake pulls out a notebook, scribbles a note on it, folds it up, and hands it to Hermes and says, "Could you deliver this to the Fates for an opportune moment, please?"
You're trying to talk to Destiny.
Jake, have
You
you
know what's
gone
gonna happen if
farming
you bring them
again?
here. You know what's gonna happen if you bring them here.
No,
There's
no,
gonna
I'm
be
not
a
bringing.
royal fucking rumble down here.
No, I'm not bringing them here. I'm not bringing them here. This note is for something else.
Okay, putting aside
No.
I'm just saying, I got
No.
my foreplay. I'm just saying, I got my foreplay mace
Three.
ready here.
putting aside that
Hermes,
you're literally
look
trying
back
to
towards you.
bargain and okay.
Jake, Hermes, upon having took that note, looks back at you and nods. They accepted it. You didn't see him leave, but you do
Uh-huh.
know you don't see the note.
Which is exactly why this is going to come up in a little bit. Will, I'm going to message you over Facebook what I sent to the Fates.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
Oh boy.
Edric goes from looking to Hades and this white trash Jerry Springer scene to looking at you, and he's literally nonplussed with shock. You're literally trying to barter with destiny. With free will, with things that even the gods can't touch. You must be
I'm gonna touch them. I'm gonna touch them. I'm gonna stick this mace right up their fucking asses at once.
Ooh. But that's basically what heroes do on a daily basis. We defy fate. It's our deal. Now, I'm gonna go talk to the redneck warden and get to the bottom of this crap.
I'm gonna go talk to the redneck. Wow.
George steps off the boat. Hey, Warden!
Just standing and beaming at his partner. Thank you!
Hades, upon hearing hearing you call towards he puts up a finger. Now you wait a damn minute. I am dealing with my youngin'. I will deal with you in a minute.
Don't you mean you, honey? I know the stories, man.
We all know the stories.
Marital discord aside, there's kind of a lot of shit riding on this, so I'm just gonna sit right here and wait for him to settle his shit down for a second.
Yeah, he'll walk up, and if there's a mailbox where Hermes delivers, he'll lean on it and just watch.
Yeah. You actually hear a lady's voice call back, but you're pretty sure it's not Persephone. I know. She stays with you half the year, and she stays with me half the year. We figured this out how many years ago? Am I gonna have to take you to court again, Hades? Woman, you wouldn't know court if it slapped you in the ass.
Oh, good boy.
Followed by hearing another female voice. Just give me 4 hours and we'll come back.
It's 4 hours. That's what, one NASCAR race?
Will, did you receive that?
No, I hadn't. Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
Good. The Fates received that.
did you get us into?
All kinds of shit.
He
What
got
else is the stuff we were
himself into
talking
that.
about?
He got himself into that. Nowhere in my code of honor does it say I got to take bullets for a different crazy guys that piss off Destiny itself. Dude.
All right, they'll comment on that later. You'll get you won't get a message. You probably gonna be a few episodes before they message you back, but they got it.
Good. That's all I needed to know.
Oh boy.
Okay. 4 hours, and I'm counting. I don't want 4 hours and 1 minute. I don't want 3 hours and 56 minutes. I want her back here in 4 hours on the dot, Demeter.
Well, then you better start the Demeter running. You better start Demeter running, says Jake.
Hermes face palms.
Rose eventually just turns around and goes, "Really? I ought to slap
He
you with
just
that."
went there. He just
I oughta-
went there.
Girl.
If this mace wasn't already earmarked for the Fates, I swear.
Oh my goodness.
Now,
This,
you see Hades actually, Hades turns his attention towards you, Captain. Now, what do you want?
Where did troops from topside said we were supposed to come see you?
Are you sure? You sure you're not the cable man? Because I've been telling you people I was going to pay that bill 3 months ago, and you still keep trying to cut it off.
Don't
How
worry,
long
we're not
has
the
it
cable
been?
man.
Let's see. Wits plus crafts. Hang on, let me get my score up
Actually,
here.
he pulls out his machete and just the sheath off, like sheath and all off, and shows him the Veve.
Meanwhile, Jake casually walks into Hades' place.
All right.
Rolls Wits plus crafts.
All right.
And that's 1, 2, 3 successes. Congratulations, Hades just got an upgrade on his cable.
He's got premium channels now. Hades
just
gets
got a
premium channels now.
Yep. That was a Wits plus crafts roll.
No. It's like, Jake, what are you doing in there?
Well, he thought we were the
Me
cable
and an
man.
ass.
Jake said, well, he thought we were the cable man. I thought I'd get him the premium package.
Zalibria.
I
Oh,
swear
come on
to
in.
all the gods, Jake. I swear to all of them. One of these days, I'm gonna kick your ass.
and then there will be a queue.
All right.
No, get in line,
Come on in.
Russ. I think there's a few others first. Says Jake.
Come on
winking.
in. Come on in.
Yeah.
Have a seat. And this is Hades talking. Come on in. Have a seat. Can I get y'all some tea? Soda?
So for me, please.
Now, you do notice that on the television where he's sitting, you see what looks like boats are lined up in a line. As he sits down, you see what you swear you see what looks like a flag get dropped. Someone actually waves a flag, and you see the boats begin to move off that line.
Boat races, huh? Who's winning?
Well, of course, Karen's winning. Karen wins every time. He'd win more if they quit changing the rules every time he wins. Every time he wins, they change the rules to keep him from winning again.
And
Just to keep it interesting.
Yes,
Yeah.
finally, one success.
What?
Guess where that one
Uh-oh.
success opens, and the powerboat outboard finally materializes in Jake's arms. He hands it to Hades and says, "For the next time they change the rules, give this to Karen."
How'd you get that down here? How'd you get that down here? Ain't nobody supposed to be able to get nothing in and out of here.
"Oh, I've got my ways," says Jake.
You one of them special ones, ain't you?
Well, the same way I got you the premium package.
We're just not sure whether it's text or special.
Jake says,
Oh.
"The same way I got you the premium cable package down here. I have my ways."
Oh, I thought you just knew how to tie into somebody else's line. I mean, that's what I did.
Jake says, "No, like I said, I've got my ways."
All right. Well, since you're here, like I said, thank you, Hermes, for bringing them along. Now, if you'd be so kind as to get the hell out of my house, because I got business to talk. Hermes' finger goes up. Well, sir, if with respect, Hades, if I got the hell out of your house, wouldn't that mean I was taking you out of your own house?
Hermes, he's got jokes.
Hades gives him that look. The look, that look. As Hermes kind of chuckles under his breath as he leaves you guys to talk. All right. Well, now that he's gone, now that Robin Williams with sandals back over there decided to leave. Well,
Too soon,
I'm sure
man,
he
too
probably
soon.
told you. What? He lives next door. Well, I'm sure he probably told you that we think we got this shindig here figured out. Now, like I told him, I can't live up there for long. I have to stay down here. So I talked to Hephaestus, and he's made up some helmets. Some helmets that'll give you some more power, more than what you're supposed to have. He ain't give me no he didn't give me no instruction manual with none of this. So if it blows up in your face, I ain't responsible, right?
No complaints here.
Risking your life's kind of part of the job. At least this way.
Exactly.
You don't question a man's work. We're happy to have anything, really.
Mhm.
All right. You know what? I like y'all. Y'all ain't hard to please. So, I'll tell you what. Let me go get them. Oh, and by the way, you know what? I check Sports Center afterwards. I'm sure that the boat races will be on there. Tell you what, I'm gonna be gone a few minutes. Feel free, make yourselves at home. Here's the remote. There's beer in the fridge, and there's a
When
party
he says
platter in there
that
too.
under his breath, Jameson says, "No eating or drinking. Bad move." Just loud enough for Hades to hear too.
And he doesn't even pay. I didn't hear what you said. Will didn't hear it.
Under his breath, he says, "No eating or drinking in here." Bad move.
Wait, didn't Ahmed already drink something?
No, Ahmed asked for a soda. He hasn't drunk it yet because he hasn't received it yet.
Nope. Yep. Well, like I said, there's beer in the fridge. There's a party platter in there too, but don't touch my pepperoni, alright? I'm kind of partial on my pepperoni.
Don't worry, none of us are gonna touch your pepperoni. We promise.
Okay.
Oh, and by the way, you, the special guy, you were wanting that soda. Give me just a minute.
Not a problem, says Jake, who just got one success on another portal to bring it in from the outside world.
What are you doing, Guthrie?
Seriously.
Swear to God, man.
Yeah, it's your own
I swear.
warband thinking it's smacking you upside the head, dude.
All right. He comes back with a large glass. You don't know where he got ice in the underworld, but he returns with a large glass with ice with what you're pretty sure is some kind of a cola.
Jake says, really sorry about that, Hades. I forgot I had one on me.
Oh.
That's all right. That's all right. I'll drink it later.
I gotcha. I understand. Okay. Yeah, Walt just made it just clicked for Walt. All right. But Jameson
Yeah.
looks at that,
Like I
looks
said-
at the, and then just nods. Sorry, go ahead, Will.
Like I said, I'm gonna be gone about 5 minutes. I'm gonna be gone about 5, maybe 10 minutes here. Make yourself at home, and if that woman comes back up here, you tell her. Look, if that woman comes back up here starting trouble, you tell her I'll be back later to deal with her. All right?
Got it. Got it.
Jake grabs the remote and flips on the TV, and sees a weird adventure about a group of people traveling between parallel universes. It's documenting them academically, and says, there's nothing good on TV, and shuts it off.
Fair enough.
Okay, so we have established. Okay, so thanks, Guthrie. Thanks for establishing what's on TV in hell. Apparently, it's pseudonymous.
Oh
That's
man.
totally terrible punishment. Great.
No, actually, as you're flipping through though, you see that golf.
I also see a TV evangelist.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
And Jameson, whenever that comes on, quickly hits the channel button.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Golf. Okay,
Rose just
In
buries
order.
her head Rose buries her head in Adelise's fur, cracking up laughing.
Okay.
All
Correct
right,
me
well,
if I'm
in
wrong.
order, as you're flipping through channels, in order, pseudonymous, golf, about 7 channels worth of golf. Some kind of TV evangelist, BBC News,
Star Trek Enterprise
A
comes
doc-
on.
followed by, on the next channel, an episode of what looks like Doctor Who, but all of the video has been blurred out, and you're only getting half of the audio.
Okay. So we're not supposed
comes
to
on
eat
too.
anything. Okay, we're not supposed to eat or drink anything, but you think it's okay to flip with the world with the Lord of the Underworld TV? That's a real smart move.
Well, hey, just because he gets free premium channels doesn't necessarily mean I have to eat or drink anything down here. The guy will call me back when he needs. The guy will call me back when his cable starts to go in about. Which reminds me, I need to do one more Wits plus Crafts roll. 2 successes. There's a small little glitch that's been put on the TV. As long as within about 3 hours of Ahmet going back to the surface, all the cable will start to go fuzzy, which means he's going to have to be called back to repair the TV. So as long as Ahmet
Wait,
gets down there,
all of it, or
All of it.
just what you added to it? Oh.
No, all of it.
All of it. All of it. All of it.
So, cue the 70s porn music. Got it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And
boy.
surprisingly, oh, and by the
You
way,
also,
pseudonyms,
now,
that's the
as
funny part.
you hear
wanna-
his
I wanna-
door,
I was going to say, before he comes back, I want to mention one other thing. Pseudonymous was part of the premium
Yeah.
package.
all right, as he returns, as you're hearing his door open, as you're flipping to the next television channel, you see what you're pretty sure is Mr. Ed, but for some reason they're all talking in Japanese.
Oh, jeez.
Uh,
All right,
wait.
here you go. All right, here you go.
He's looking
Now,
for Justin Wilson. He's still listening, but he's looking for Justin Wilson.
what Justin Wilson? What Justin Wilson? He ain't on hell. He ain't on TV in hell.
Oh, holy crap, it's the Seahawks.
All right, it's good. It's not good programming. Okay, all right.
All right, so, all right, here y'all go. I'm gonna go ahead and hand these over to you. Now, like I said, this is all a hypothetical. This is all a hypo. I'm not sure it's gonna work.
What do these crazy helmets look like exactly?
They actually look, as much as Hades has got like this looks and sounds like this white trailer trash redneck. These helmets look like they came right out of the Roman legion.
Mm-hmm. Imperator Edric. Okay.
Jake tries putting his helmet on.
You don't really feel any difference, but you can tell you don't feel any difference, but it's almost like you know something has changed, but you just don't feel it.
Jameson's just checking the craftsmanship. Is this daddy level craftsmanship?
Yeah. Dude, it was made. It was made.
Well,
It was
yeah, it was made by
Hephaestus
hand.
made it, man.
Yeah. You just
So, Kerchunk Edric just plops it on his head, just finally buckling in the little leather strapping there. Alright.
And also, you've now noticed that there is a black feathered plume running down the across the top of the helmet, running the horizontal, the vertical way, not the horizontal.
Funky.
cool.
So, hold on. Now, probably best idea if I walk outside of here and give this thing some sort of a test somehow, somewhere.
Oh, that's what you're looking for? Why didn't you say so? Come on out. Come on back back.
Yep. Just kind of
What
Trudge.
what he takes you out to is what looks like a series of beer cans that have been set up on a fence post. There are pieces of beer can. There are shards of beer can laying all over the ground around them.
Well, that's pretty irritating, huh? Target practice help?
No, I just don't like Milwaukee's best.
Stuff sucks, huh? Ain't nothing compared to good
Anyway,
solid
here.
rum, and he pulls out his machete and slides it back in.
Yeah, go ahead. Take a shot. Try them out. Take a shot.
Alright. So, just gonna summon up a bit of storm augmentation and see how that goes. Rolling appearance presence. Do.
Uh, uh,
Oh, by the way, that roll that's up on the screen above me there, that's 2 successes to open a portal to bring down a pack of Budweiser. Since Hades said he didn't like Milwaukee's best, case of Budweiser for him.
All right.
Okay.
As the case of
works for me.
Budweiser appears in Jake's hands, Roz looks over and says, "You know what? You know the similarity between Budweiser and making love in a canoe?
Yes, I know it, but I didn't know if it was to Hades' taste or not.
Well, I'd be surprised if fucking near water is to his taste."
Nah.
You might have a point. You might have a point.
All
right.
Josh, now that you have made an attempt
Yep.
now that you've made an attempt to use one of your purview boons with the helmet on, you have found that it seems to be considerably easier to pull anything off. The
Yep.
in-game mechanic of that helmet, it reduces all of your boon powers, just your boons, but nothing else. It reduces all rolls to use your boon powers it reduces the difficulty by 2.
Woo! So all of that success. Jeez.
dang.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Just
yeah,
basically, you
what-
see the guy
what
lighting
Birkin?
like a freaking Christmas tree, just electricity shooting from his fingertips, looking like he's just Prince Edler coil. All right. Okay.
Yeah. What beer can? What beer can? It literally just you just vaped it.
Jake takes out his lighter and sets off Fire 2 bolster to turn it into a flamethrower and aim it at the can.
Nice.
What do I roll for
Again,
that
what
again?
can?
Oh,
What
okay.
can?
Yeah, it just
There's no
boom, done.
cans there.
Oh yeah,
He just smoked them.
there are no cans. They're all gone. It's like
They're all
he
gone
looks
because
at the-
because Edric just vaporized them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nice.
He looks at the Jameson looks at the case and goes, I want to practice. Need to set these back up. He pops one, goes down without nothing because he's used to other stuff and just ding. Mine does his own takes out his lighter, flips it, and just
Hang on just a
Like-
minute, Jimmy. Hang on just a minute, guys.
flips it open. Okay. All right. Ah.
Right in the middle of the episode, too.
Mhm. I'm gonna mute him because I know there'll be noise.
Are you kidding? I was thinking a real life. I was thinking the real life contest between a Scion and a Titan would be interesting for the viewership.
Oh boy.
That said, it has been 3 hours, so maybe we should wrap up if there's going to be drama on Will's end.
I don't know what's going on, but since he's got the button, we'll have to wait and see if there's anything important he's got to do.
Yeah.
I know. It's
Hopefully
quarter to
it'll
11.
be
It's quarter
quick.
to 11 at night, and we haven't had dinner yet.
Jeez.
Well, I was gonna say I could always do stupid magic tricks while we wait.
No.
Okay, fine. I'll just put this away. It's gone.
Mm.
What? I was bored.
Altogether, good episode though.
Yeah, I'd say
Oh, yeah.
so. Especially,
I'm
Especially
looking forward
to-
to. I'm looking forward to this showdown between Roz and the Fates, though.
Yeah.
Mishi, there's someone behind you.
Subject of dinner.
Yep.
Order pizza. Meat pay. Using kitchen.
Okay.
I'll put it on the
Hey, Mishi. Hey, Mishi.
All right. I'll order it as
Yeah,
soon as the scene's over.
Which won't be much longer. So yeah, same thing, Jameson. Same thing, Captain Jameson. Your boom rolls are reduced in difficulty by 2 while you have the helmet.
Okay.
Hey, Will, we're wondering whether we should wrap this up because it is getting late and the pizzerias might not be open
Yeah,
anymore
yeah.
for us. Or,
Yeah. Which basically all you guys do is just head back up. You know, he escorts you guys back out to meet up with Karen, who basically takes you back to the surface.
All right, cool. And we'll end it there for now.
So this has been episode. Zion, I'll have to get the episode number correct later. So
6, I think.
join us next month.
5.
Yep, join
No,
us next
6.
month as we watch the warband try to stop a mud hole in Fate's ass. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
And